Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And of course, I am your host, Ayanna Smith. I help people make and save money through the vehicle of life insurance in a tax free manner. I am a financial professional and I service many cities and states in your area. So we are expanding, looking forward to building an agency and even showing people not only the financial literacy portion of what we do, but finding a space where you can become a part of the financial industry too, as we are building our agency. But guess what? This is Financial Literacy Awareness Month, and we are going to get into some great topics this month. And we're going to start out with what are the benefits? What are the benefits of having a savings account? Well, we are back. We are back. And we are going to talk about some highlights on what are the benefits of having a savings account. And I know some people may say, well, gosh, isn't that just obvious? No, it isn't obvious because oftentimes we don't realize that when we look at how to pull money and show where our money is going, we don't realize that sometimes the savings portion is where we have lacked or we have forgotten about because we're always in the go of spending and paying bills, buying things, making sure stuff is moving along, and we forget about the rainy day portion of how we need to function and flow. So, before we get into all of that and give those hot tips, I want to, of course, invite you all to, of course, thank you for those who are listening, watching. Thank you so much for getting on, paying attention. Please like, comment, share this video and making sure that people are hearing what we're talking about. Because, like I said, we're going to get into some basic nuggets that will help us to elevate, grow, and then be able to invest and repeat our funds. Okay. So when we do that, what I want you to do, of course, go to my YouTube channel and make sure that you are subscribing there. So subscribe to my YouTube channel at the Ayanna Smith, and you will find all the collection of videos on the dashboard there so that you can go back, watch, listen, share, like, comment, and all of that. And I will be surely ready to get back with you. I love when followers come on, it's awesome. And also, you can find me on the IG platform as well as the Facebook platform on my personal and business pages located here. And IG is Ask Ayanna underscore Financial Pro. So there you will find me as well, looking, sharing tips, and also putting out when we're having events and how to get in contact with me. So our main way of getting in contact, of course, is through my website, and that website, of course, is www.askayana.com, which is ASKAYANNA. So we are going on to look at this month, getting into our one of our sessions to say Financial Literacy Awareness Month. What is a savings account and the benefits? Yeah, what are the benefits of having a savings account? What does it do? What are some of the great things to do? So I'll give you a chance to make sure, like the intro said, get a pencil, pen, paper out so that we can talk about that. And always, I'm going to use a few notes because I like to look up things like the Forbes.com and places that are reputable, are matching what I'm sharing as a financial professional, a licensed financial professional, to make sure that you're getting credible information that matches along with the things that I already know, show, and help people with. Okay? So here's the thing. When we're looking at that savings account, of course, we said we want to make sure that we have that money set aside for a rainy day fund. How many have heard of the rainy day fund? Of course you have. You've heard of the rainy day fund because you say, you know what, you want to save for a rainy day because something may come that will take away the funds that you currently have, or home get something breaks down in the home, tires go out, whatever the case may be, you will have that extra money sitting in the event that something happens and you don't have to hit the credit card. So with that, that's one way that a savings account will help you. So of course we need the money, to pay our bills, and then we cover those expenses through the checking account. But when you want to set money aside, you want to set it aside for, like I said, future goals are included in that. So you have, if you have an emergency, tire blows out, need a set of tires, need a new washer, dryer. You don't necessarily have to go and put it on the credit card unless you're trying to, unless you have a strategy to put it on the credit card, get your points, and then pay it right off. That's a way to work it. So it's working double for you, beneficial on both sides. Also, it can be a goal to set aside your money as well for if you are saving for a home, because the bank needs to see, or those mortgage lenders need to see, what's your saving habits? Where have you gotten your money? Have you been putting the money in over time, or was it gifted to you? However, you have to, bring an account for that. So having that savings account will help you to do that. Also, number three, we're looking at, first one, we're looking at the emergencies if something happens in the home. But two, we said you need to have it so that you can make sure that if you're saving for a home, you have that backed up, that you have money saved out for your down payments and deposits and all of that, your earnest money, all those good things that are required. If you're obtaining a mortgage, if you're paying outright, that hey, you go forward with that. That is a wonderful thing. Also, you can, while your money is three in safekeeping, oftentimes some savings accounts make a little bit of interest. It's not very much, it's really like pennies, fourth of a penny, half of a penny, sometimes on a dollar. And we don't make a whole lot, but it's better than nothing. But here's the thing, I always talk about the taxes, tax now, tax later, tax never, all those things that have shared throughout the broadcast, is any money that is made in your savings account and in your checking account will have, you'll get a little card, which probably you all have already experienced this if you have had a checking account or a savings account for quite some time, that you will get a card in the mail saying that you need to report those 2, 3 cents that you made on your account to IRS. So that's something to know. So the savings account, like I said, very, very low in interest. And if you do get something that's a few percent higher, great. Take it. Take any money, any gains that you can. Just know that there are some tax ramifications on some of the ways that we place money in vehicles that we place money into. So, but you still need it because it's very important to have it. Have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. That's a motto that I've heard so many times from so many friends of wisdom, sharing that it's better to need it and not, have it and not need it, than to need it and not have it, because then you're scuffling and scrounging trying to get things in order. All right, so know this as well. Your savings accounts and your bank accounts, checking accounts, are supported by the FDIC, which is, they're insured on, insured online as well. That's the insurance that if you have up to $250,000 in the bank, that money will be supported if something happens where all money seems to be depleted. You will at least have coverage for up to quarter of a million. So here's, I'm going to insert this for free. So then you want to make sure you have your savings in there and your checking up to a quarter of a million, but you're going to need four banks if you want to, let me insert, be a millionaire, so they can support it at four different banks. So just take that tidbit for free, okay? We have to do forward thinking. And the forward thinking is that we're not just going to lock on a little, we're going to lock on a lot. How about that? Okay, so also, what is a savings account? Okay, here I'm going to give you some stats or just some background. A savings account is a deposit account that's designed to hold money you don't need to plan for or plan to spend right away. So that's another way. You don't want to plan to spend it right away. Rather have it than not need it and not have it. And so this is, of course, like I said, different from that checking account because the checking account, that's money that's flowing and going and paying bills and direct deposits are going in and out and all that good stuff. So you want to make sure you have that. Now, also, here are some withdrawals and things like that that can come out of your savings. They can, or I would say that a savings account will support you. In addition to, of course, having that money saved and tucked away, it can support if you have any overdraft. But we know we're not functioning in the overdraft lane. We're functioning in the overflow drain or lane. I didn't say drain. We don't want that drain. No, we don't want that. But we want to function in the overflow lane of stuff. And also, it can also take your EFTs, your transfers, and your automatic payments, so you can focus to do that and say I'm going to have it going out of my savings, so I don't have to worry about it hitting the checking. So that's a way. Wire transfers. Um, from computer or mobile devices, you can do transfers and in and outs that way. And also, you can have check or debit card transactions. Depends on the way you have things hooked up. So that's just some ideas, some things to do to make sure that you have a general understanding of how your savings account works, because it's very important and very imperative that you do those things. Now, I will say this: savings accounts aren't overly complicated. You basically go and open one up. I know I'm doing it basic 101, but this is also to help students and young people, because oftentimes we do not have young people understanding what to do and understanding how to do it, because everything is on mobile devices. Sometimes we don't even know how to. If we had to write a check, we wouldn't know how to handle that. Not that you're going to write a check from a savings account, because you write that from the checking account, but you still need to know how to flow with that and know how those things work on a basic level, so that you're able to maneuver and do that if you had to go back to the old stone age where there were no cell phones that we could even do mobile banking. So I just talking both sides, because of course I'm old enough to know both sides, because I used to, not that I'm extremely old, but I used to sit down and write out checks for my grandmother. So that was something she trained me how to do very early, or I was required to do very early. I would write the checks out, and she would sign them. I would write them out. She said write them out for whatever places she needed to send her money, and we went from there. But also, my grandparents were extremely great savers, so they had a great amount of money saved up to make sure that if they needed something, they didn't have to worry about it. They basically paid for their cars cash and things of that nature. I mean, they were amazing. So we need to get our mind in that forward thinking that we have to do this. So I'm talking about this. Yes, it's very basic, but sometimes it's not as basic as you think, because people sometimes do not know. So I am spreading this out from children on up, because some of us have never experienced certain things, and now it's time to forward think, so that you can get in the habit of at least asking the questions and sitting down and talking with your child about it if you have children and you're listening. And also to connect with me. I mean, basically, we need to promote classes and things of that nature to make sure that everybody is good and everybody has an understanding, and not just thinking that everything is through our mobile devices. Because what happens if the mobile device goes down? So that's, we still need to be able to maneuver and flow. So let's get back here to our savings account. So here we go. Um, just say this. And we're going to give a little scenario, and then we'll get on out of here. It says, so you assume, let's assume that you open a savings account with $1,000, and you deposit $200 into your bank account every month. This is a hypothetical possibility of interest and all that good stuff. Word problems, basically, right? And the bank pays you 90, well, 0.9%, basically, 90 hundredths of a percent. Okay, not a whole lot. Then after a year, your balance of putting your $200 in a month, your balance would be about $3,400, of which your deposits and $19.84 of which are interest. So that's how that will tally up. This is 0.90% if you had that rate of return. You will multiply that annually. Multiply that and say if you put $1,000 in plus $200 a month, so that's 12 months, and you multiply that. So those 12 months, $200 a month for 12 months would be, of course, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, up to all the way up. So you will deposit in and have like $3,400, and you will make $19.84 on that. So the interest isn't a whole lot, but it is something. So the higher your, of course, your APY, that annual percentage, of course, the more money you make. But the whole goal is to get your mindset in having money collected that you can get your hands on initially. Sometimes people, and I'm not knocking this at all. Sometimes people say, "Hey, I don't need to do all that saving. I have properties and I can get money and liquidate from there." Well, it's a little harder to liquidate something that needs to be sold than to have something already sitting that you can go and get. That's like your goal. You can go and get that right then and there. And be able to maneuver and get to the next place to where you need to maneuver to in a faster manner. So all of it goes together. I like to look at the balanced meal approach, and I often say this. You need your greens, your starches, and your meat. If you eat that, if you eat those things, you need to have a mixture of something, thereby even in your portfolio to build. And here's the thing: I talked about a few moments ago that the money up to $250,000 is supported in banks by the FDIC. That is insurance. I cannot leave without saying anything about insurance because, of course, that is what I do in the long term strategy of things. And the life insurance, the insurance businesses, top 100, top 500 businesses are supported heavily by assets built in life insurance. So hear me when I say this: life insurance is never going away because it supports the assets of a big business. So it should support the assets of you on a personal level, which then later on, as you are building and growing and learning how to build and grow monies inside of life insurance policies, you can take that money and even utilize it in savings accounts and build it for rainy day funds, as well as buying real estate or starting a business, or if there's a time of need, you can glean from yourself because you have then become your own bank. So it's a way to keep currency moving and a way to keep currency flowing to you, back to you, back to you, and back to you. So let's just look at that simple thought. I know I threw some things out there, threw you a little curve a little bit, but hope that gave you some ideas on how a savings account works. And if you want to, of course, know more, let's connect and let's talk, because even though I gave you a simple talk, we still have to talk about how then does that money play in and that savings account play into the bigger picture, the larger picture of my daily income and outgo. We still have to look at that because it still has to be savings to help support and push your dreams forward, along with your insurance strategies that you can connect and put in place if you qualify for those. So we're excited for Financial Literacy Month. We're not going to hold you, but I do again want to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the page there, and also IG and Facebook. Go there and check that out. And of course, make sure that to schedule a complimentary consultation to make sure that we are getting to the bottom of what you need, go to www.askayanna.com. That's ASKAYANNA.com. And I will be glad to meet you there and connect with you. Uh, to help you to get your financial, let's say, get your financial house in order, and also to help you to look at if you need to expand and increase your cash flow, look at becoming a life agent in our agency. So this is Ayanna Smith, and I am a financial professional. I help people make and save money in a tax-free manner, and I do what we say. Make sure we cover you all the way, the whole person, cover you all the way to get everything to where you need to be and where your family needs to be. Be well, and I'll see you on the next time.